Youth development in Nigeria has come to stay because it's the phenomenon going around the world. You realize that in Nigeria, the demography of the youth is up to about between 68 and 75%, according to different statistics, including the World Health Organization and the United Nations. That means for Nigeria to succeed as a country, they have to put into good consideration this group of people. Whether it's job or socioeconomic development, most of those things have to be focused on the youths and how it affects them and how it impacts on their everyday lives. I know the Ministry of Youth has the NYC as a major, maybe not major, but as a formidable sect or unit within the ministry, which helps graduates from universities or higher institutions. They get engaged with some federal government scheme for a year. Now, of course, there are some schools of thought that it should be scrapped because of some of the things that have happened over the years, some of them dying and insecurity that has raided the entire country. But I think whenever something has been successful, rather than scrap it because it is now not so successful, I think it can be re-engineered. For example, every youth service corps member is paid by the government, whether they do anything or not, which suggests that the government already has a labor force that is being paid to do nothing for an entire year. And if you look at the budgets, it's in billions of naira. So, and the country does not have the manufacturing industry set up. The textile industry is failed. There's practically nothing in the country that's the industry really works. So rather than pay them to do nothing, why don't you set up the industries and put the already paid workers into these same, industries where they're already trained to do it anyway. And even if one wants to argue that, okay, maybe they have not been trained to do maybe textile or manufacturing or anything, the other argument would be, how many of them were trained to be bankers? How many of them were trained to be teachers? How many of them were trained to be anything, in fact, before they actually took on the jobs? The revolutions in the banking industry, the insurance industry, in telecommunications industry, these places are filled with people who do not necessarily have degrees from there. And these are the things, they have a basic education that the government can use. I mean, the maturity they need to be able to be re-engineered to work in the socioeconomic development of the country. And these are things that I think the government should put into consideration as far as youth development is concerned, because we have more graduates that are getting out of schools without jobs. Eventually, the country will cave without having anything for them to do. Otherwise, we'll just have a huge human resource with nothing to give to them except for them to engage in social vices that will eventually destroy the country. And if not any time to act on it, I think the best time is now. And the good thing is, well, maybe the incoming government, if we have an incoming government, if it doesn't remain the same one, I think it's an opportunity we have to exploit. Otherwise, it would destroy the country eventually.